Energy Ecliptic. Love's circle persona. Self-love, best love, world love. You knows, my honor. Well, greetings. That be your host, JaMes Peter Bastien. In peace, prosperity, power. It is my honor to share my affirmations, visualizations, and unisons manifestations in all satisfaction. Mind, body, and soul is to grow in all facets. Presented in procreation, this is MB19 podcast show. May you be at peace in whatever the action is proclaiming, ascending the greatest of all satisfaction like your goal is a bullseye, your actions the dart. Believe in you no matter the ending or the start. For your life, such precious life, must you claim it. Planning the unplanned, seeing the unseen. The, the inevitable that is life have us in a promiscuous stage in a relationship with such relation with life that apprehend us on a daily basis to plan for such life, whether it's through that day, you plan through that day, whether it's through the week, through the month, through the years, right? So with life, in regards to our plans, in regards to our visions, we have to make a decision, we have to make a plan, we have to make a choice, or else life will make a plan, decision, or choice for us. Right? In the same notion that you hear nothing is always something, something is can be something is always nothing, right? The variation from that perspective is that in our present, the future awaits. In our past, the present is showcased. So, present is the median of your past and your future. And through such median is the planning, the visualization of what you're seeing such to be. For most of us, you grow up with the notion of being a child means that you stay in a child place and give the ownership of your life, the accountability of your life to another, to what is called at that moment an adult, someone who's making the decision for your livelihood, right? So for most of us, depending on such upraising and how you were confined to think or believe in yourself, the ability to have that accountability, to take ownership, right, is something that can be strengthened or derailed amongst your upraising for your life, right? If everything you understood or complied to your life was that your days were going to go about from, as early as kindergarten days all the way to high school, if you were in that state of mind where someone else, whether a parent, guardians, adult, whoever, if you had those people inciting their views of what is life for you, it's going to be a hard grasp for most of those people that grew up like that to figure out what is life in that regards, right? How do you plan to it, right? So, because if you stick with that notion of doing and being whatever was said to do it and be since you were a kid, that's how it's easily for those people to live a life as if it's an assembly assigned life, in a factor of like they won't really question the job that they get, because it's almost like this was a meant to be for them. They don't see that like they can either create their own opportunity. They may not see that like this is just a stepping stone. So it's all depending upon our upraising have us have ability to have control amongst this life that we're planning and seeing for, or we may not, right? So in the same virtue, where that young person had to be a lot more accountable to they days, have to figure out, or having through experience life from the first hand experience where you're not being told something, uh, you're not learning about others' experience, but you're learning about your experience. That allows you, because somebody could tell you, hey, don't go in that water, it's hot, you can get burned, right? And until you actually witness it or actually feel such yourself, you won't understand why you shouldn't do it, right? And so in learning, you have that first-hand experience where you can learn from your own, right? From your own direct experience. But as well, you have a second-hand experience where somebody could educate you by words, and through these words can bring you the visualization, or you actually experience somebody jumping in that example of a hot lake, right, that burns skin, and it's like, okay, this is no go, right? So for most people, as I am, I'm a first hand sort of person that gives me to comply if it's meaningful for me or not, right? But then for some people, it's all about, the black and white. The gray area would be for them to make that decision themselves. But hey, if somebody told me that I could jump in that lake and it's cool, then I'm going to believe that. If somebody told me I can't, then it's not, then I'm going to believe that. So some people, based on their mindset, have have a have a way of setting their life to be in their own hand or someone else's hand, right? And again, with the beginning of notion of life itself, when you think about how we go about our days, just in the simple standpoint of whether you have a house, whether you have a car and you're paying car insurance, you have a car note, whether you have a cell phone bill, whether when you really think about how our days goes about, a lot of things that we do is we purchase and we comply for the future, right? For the most part, not it's not merely that there's some people that can or are capable of if they buy it from that perspective. But for the most part, most of us buy grocery from a boat perspective, right? From days in out, right? Your insurance for your car, your home, whatever it is, you buy boats in out, right? Whether that's 30 days, months, 6 months, however it complied to, right? Your car notes, 30 days in advance, your rent, your mortgage, 30 days in advance. We pay things off in life for the for an unforeseeable future. Like, we need the car insurance, or else that's gonna place us in a troubling matter if we get pulled over, or God forbidding, if someone hit our car and we're not covered, right? So a lot of things in life showcase that if you don't make plans for it, life's gonna make plans for you, right? So this would mean like having goals, having vision, right? Having the idealization of I gotta go to work tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. is today 12 p.m. and I haven't slept yet. I didn't get no rest. I haven't ate. I haven't got myself ready for such day, and it's like my plan is to wake up at 6 a.m., right? So the factor of the matter is, based on my examples and my experience, I'm making it hard for me to actually accept and appreciate that plan, right? Because I didn't put myself in the notion to allow myself to actually wake up at 6 a.m. Think about planning is something that's going to have you prepare or unprepared, right? Like, did you set up the proper preparation for you to succeed, right? There's an opportunity that at times, as human beings, we are reminded by people, placing in things, like something that's already within us of knowledge that we already obscure. But for the majority of times, it's going to take us utilizing practice. It's going to take us utilizing repetition, right, to set up success for that day, right? So unless you have, if you haven't placed yourself in the situation of like, okay, how is my body without sleep? Like, how, if I would need an 8 hour regular 8 hour sleep that makes me fully energized, how would I go with 5 or 6 hours of sleep? So some of those things with planning comes naturally in this lifetime. For me, at least, I found repetition would be the best way to start learning and experiencing how to plan properly for you, right? Because some of us have upraising that asks a lot more of us to be our own parents, right? And vice versa, we may have upraising that asks us to be just be a kid, to that factor. So for me, all I can say with life is that no matter how much you want to sit around and just say I'm not in control, or there's so much things that's not in your control, and to a certain aspect it is true, because based among people placing in things, success is what how we can vary such, but in that same regards, own thoughts, so for me it's the most toughest thing, because a lot of my thought process transcend with the way I was upraised, the way I look at, after myself, the way I accept the accountability of my life. So I would say it started off early for me in my, I guess, adolescence to teenage years, where I had no idea that I was the vessel to my own life. What I mean by that is that for that time frame, I thought I was just supposed to listen to people. But at the same time, life was showing me that I'm the best person I need to listen to. You know what I mean? So intuition for me flew within me, because the outside obscurity of having no one take that parenting role for my life, I had to do that. I had to be my own parent. So my guidelines was a lot different than most people, right? My guidelines since 14, 15 on how we survive and how we're going to eat, how we clothing ourselves, the people that we're going to put ourselves around, lacking that motherhood, fatherhood, gave me that responsibility for my own life. And in one way, it deemed stretch for me early, but in another form, I I remain powerful. I remain potent, because my climax and my mindset was up to me to evaluate or to elevate to a higher form, right? Not too many things people can do or say for me, in the sense of like, I'm very appreciative of help and assistance to that factor, but however, the acknowledgement of my life made me understood that like it's not something that's foreseeable foreseeable to occur. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing if it happens, but early with that time frame, it gave me the mindset like nobody owes me nothing. So there's nothing for me to ask of from someone else, when that's something I can give up to myself. So one thing with this lifetime is that your planning, as we said, right? Your planning is naturally matched with your visions. You know what I'm saying? So for my steps process is affirming, right? The affirmation, whether it's words, right, is whether it's thoughts, and then you visualization such words and thoughts into such manifestation. So first step, affirm. Second, visualize. Third is manifest. So that third step is manifestation, is you implementing that word or thought and matching that with that vision that showcases you to the next, in the present moment. How do you go about making this complete, right? So planning is seeing, right? Seeing is believing. So seeing the unseen. What is the unseen, right? Unseen are the things that our surrounding can't explain or can't understand from us, right? But only within us is this purified to be something meaningful, right? Like your careabouts and your whereabouts, the seen and unseen, right? The whereabouts is all the things that's seen, right? The people, places, and things. The society that we groom under, the civilization that we're raised in to believe or not believe in, right? So these are the seen, the whereabout. The unseen is the care about. What do you care for? Nobody can really implement or say exactly what's in your mind or your heart. Your care is something that's so mirroring to your spirit, right? So only you would know the importance of such care. Only you would know the validity of such thought or action behind such people, placing in things, right? That care of your spirituality, that care of your well-being, that care of your mindfulness. Things of that nature are unseen, right? So when you're looking at matching the unseen with the seen, it's about you assuring your perpetuity in this lifetime, right? That you're moving not just from the mindful idealization of what the earth showcase, not just the body desires or wants, right? But it's also implementing all three: the mindfulness, the body, the earth connectivity that we have with the flesh, right? And the spiritual realm, that's really the unseen. And the spirituality of us all really confines it into the other wording, which is intuition, right? And your intuition is your life path, right? So without enhancing our intuition, we're incapable to actually find our true passageway in regards to our purpose in this lifetime. So learning yourself means that you're opening the portal within you, right? The unseen, and processing that with the visualization that the mind, or the thought that the mind can showcase, with the flesh, the body, right? The action that's needed for that spiritual intuition to come into life from the mind and body, right? So that same unseen goes with the unplanned, right? The unplanned of life are the things that we decide to say we're not putting attention to, right? So we're not allowing our intuition, our spirit to grow. We're lacking ambition to our life. We're lacking ambition to plan the life that we want to live. Like one thing again, like I was saying earlier, with life, not making a plan and life or surely will make a plan out for you, right? It may not be exactly what you want it out to be, but it will surely do. You don't want to work. You don't want to become better in your craft. You don't want to. So just keep it one example at a time. I hate working. Let's say you're a person that say, I hate working. I dislike working. I dislike working because of the time that it's asking of me. Okay, cool. You hate working. Is this accentuating that you have somebody that's going to be able to take care of all your financial needs? That's somebody that's going to take care of your dues as an adult, right? So if you hate working, either you have something planned where somebody's going to take care of you, right? or you have the unforeseeable, unplanned situation where if you're working currently and you got rent, mortgage, whatever the case is, car, this, that, and third. Okay, well, stop working. It may be a day, it may be a week, it may be a month, but essentially those things that you have, is going to be depreciated out of your life, right? Whether it's through eviction, whether it's through repossession, some of those factors of you not wanting to work comes with effects, right? So there's always going to be a cause and effect to your life. Whether you're not planning for it, regardless, there's going to be some unplanned factors because of that lack in planhood, right? So you go up, you go, you go up. You get up and you decide to just say, I'm just going to let the world tell me what to do. Okay, in that regards, you open the fridge, you didn't want to make breakfast because everything seems like it's going to take time. Okay, don't make breakfast. That was 1 hour ago. What do you think going to happen a couple minutes or hour after that? Like, you're going to get to that point now where it's going to be unsustainable to your body, like how bad you need nutrients in your body, right? So not nourishing yourself also going to bring some emotional distress to your body, some physical weakness into your body, right? So everything in life has a natural maturation to be planned for, right? You sit around and and that's another thing too, with the unplanning of life. I'm busting my ass, and I'm just making this another example in the statement of saying, if I'm busting my ass to get to a better place or better circumstances in my life, right? And that takes me implementing sacrifices, discipline, dedication of my days and time to make this occur throughout my life. That means even me working hard and planning for this success, it's not going to be an easy road. So what the fuck would you think if you're a person on the opposition where you don't plan for nothing, you don't give no dedication, commitment, right? You're not disciplined to this unplanned situation. Why would this unplanned situation naturally come to you in a positive light, right? So when you think about plan, what I'm saying is that it doesn't mean because you plan something, everything's going to go how you want to go, just that and third, or it's the easiest way. But however, planning is a lot more successful, efficient, rather than unplanning. Planning is a lot more positive rather than unplanning is negative, right? Planning is like this. Another great way of explaining planning and unplanning. Planning would be like setting yourself up for success, right? Unplanning is setting yourself up for failure. Planning in the fact of just another example, right? 100 people, there's a giveaway. They're advising that whoever comes in first, they get the best of the best. Whoever, depending who come in last, you know what I'm saying, you get whatever is left, right? So the planning aspect, whether you have the availability to come at the earliest, give you a better residual than being unplanned, than being late, right? And that's really when you think about life itself. For those that just sit around, don't want to work hard, don't want to do these things, or have expectation but lacking the ambition to get to such, what's normally gifted to you is leftovers. You know what I'm saying? What else is available for you to receive or give? So it's not something where you're actually gonna get the top notch, the upper echelon of whatever such thing to be, right? So the unplanning normally goes with some sort of real tough trials and tribulation, because once you didn't plan for something, when something occurred, that means 9 times out of 10 you didn't plan for the causes and effect of such either, right? So do yourself a favor and understand that whether you plan or don't plan in life, life itself being the plan will have a plan for you. So either way, move in the notion that you have accountability with your life. Move in the notion that you can accept yourself from the right and wrongs, right? And also be neutral as mutual with life in regards to I am the dictator of such life, but understand that there's so much other thing that goes into those causes and effect of life. You get what I mean? So just set your intention in the right path, right? Being positive, being courteous to yourself and surrounding, being patient to yourself and surrounding can allow you to maturate that with a great balance rather than being flustered among if the planning goes wrong or whatnot, right? It's the same factor of belief, right? Seeing is believing. So the unseen is having hope, wish, faith within your own idealization of what you're seeing, right? It doesn't mean that you need 99% of the world to agree or see it as you see it. You need to see it as within yourself and also has to make sense for you. You know what I mean? So all love, and through this episode, may you have a great day. May you have a great week, great month, great year ahead. And with that year coming ahead of you, with those days, years, months, I should say, seconds, minutes, hours coming ahead of you, plan yourself. Plan yourself to be a better version of yourself. Plan yourself to learn something from yourself, right? Earn something and give something back to you, right? The leg formula of life. Learn, earn, give. Give that in a reciprocal way that it never hinder you to challenge yourself because you know what your challenge is you implementing you to get to a higher form. You know what I'm saying? So grateful as thankful for your time and your appreciation. So by my dedication, I am JaMes Peter Bastien, the host of MB9T Podcast Show. May you be at peace in whatever the action is pertaining you to today. Peace, prosperity, power. That's for every second to every minute of every hour. Affirm, visualize, manifest. Remember daily, this is your reminder that you are truly blessed. Peace.